Good day, dental professionals. You're tuned in to the Dental Flow podcast, dentistry's go-to resource for insights into the business side of dentistry. Host Benjamin Suggs navigates you through the currents of the ever-changing dental waters. This podcast is packed with innovative practice growth strategies, insights, and expert advice tailored to help increase the flow of new, profitable patients into dental practices. Listen as Ben explores the latest trends, shares success stories, and uncovers actionable tips to elevate your dental practice to the next level. Get ready to dive deep into the currents of dental business knowledge and experience the dental flow.
Hello, friends. Welcome to the Dental Flow podcast. We are your go-to resource for mastering the art of dental marketing and optimizing the business side of dentistry. So come back here and join us often as we explore proven strategies, innovative tools, and actionable tactics designed to help you achieve a state of flow in your dental practice. My name is Benjamin Suggs. I am the owner of Flow New Patient Marketing, a dental marketing company that has been helping dentists grow their practices for about 12 years. And today on the podcast, I'm going to be flying solo, and I'll be covering an important topic for dentists. And that topic is 8 ways that dentists can improve their Google Map Pack rankings. And for those of you who are listening to this, if you check the show notes, you'll see that there is a link where you can actually request an overview of all the information that we're covering today, and we can have that sent to you. So be sure to check that out at the end. But for now, let's dive in. Let's talk about 8 ways that dentists can improve their Google Map Pack rankings. So first and foremost, just in case there's any of you who don't know what the Google Map Pack is, I want you to imagine you're at your computer and you go to Google and you type the word dentist or dentist near me or dental implants or whatever dental related search you want to type in. And imagine what you're going to see on the search results page. On that search results page, you're going to see a couple things. If it's available in your area, you'll see local service ads. Secondly, you might be seeing, and more of us are going to be seeing this year, would be AI search, which they're calling search generative experience. And we're going to be seeing a lot more of that in the search results. And that basically is just where a person can type in whatever term they're looking for, and Google will say, hey, would you like AI to answer this question for you, versus searching through actual dental websites to get the answer that you're looking for. The next thing they're going to see is the pay-per-click ads. For our people that work for us, we leverage those quite a bit for our clients to get results. And then next is what we're going to talk about today, which is the Google Map Pack. That is a map that shows practices near that person when they're searching. And then last, we're not going to cover this today, but the last thing you'll see on the search results page is the organic search results page. That is where actual dental websites will show up, websites like Wikipedia, Yelp, yellowpages.com, and other sites like that. So that's what the Google Map Pack is. Now let's talk a little bit before we dive in about what are the ranking criteria that Google uses to determine who shows up at that Map Pack. So there's 3 basic things. The first one is the one we have the least control over, is distance, not dentist, distance. So if I walk out of my office right now and pull out my mobile phone and search for a dentist, the map is going to basically say, okay, this guy is standing right here, and here's dentists that are close by him. So they're going to show up on the map. So the first and most important one is distance. So if I type in my computer dentist in any town, USA, Google's going to say, well, what dentist is actually closest to the midpoint of this town that this person is searching for? So that's good and bad for dentists, because it's good if you happen to be very close to the person who's searching. It's bad because there's not much we can do to affect how you show up in that search. Now, there are things that we do for our clients that are more advanced, where we set up location pages so that if you're in town A, but you want to pull patients from town B, we'll have content on your website that portrays you as dentist in town B, so that you'll start showing up on that map as well. But it's the one we have the least control over, unfortunately. The second big ranking criteria is relevance. So Google wants to know, how relevant is your Google business profile to what the person searched. So if they're searching for dental implants, does your Google business profile talk about dental implants? Does it talk about Invisalign, whatever the search is? You want to make sure that you have information on your page that talks about that, not your web page. Web page is connected, but also on your Google Business Profile page. And then third is the big one that we control is prominence. So how prominent is your Google Business Profile? Google judges prominence by a host of factors, including your reviews, how many you have, whether you're responding to them or not. Photos, have you been uploading a lot of custom personalized photos to your Google page? Signals can mean a bunch of different things, like are people using your Google Business Profile to ask questions, get questions answered, get directions, things like that. And then just general activity. Are you posting on your Google Business Profile periodically? Are you sharing information there? Are you utilizing it as a business? All those things are going to factor in to your prominence ranking by Google. All right, so now we set the stage, set the table. Let's talk about the 8 things that dentists can do to improve their Google Map Pack rankings. First and foremost, number 1, you should only have one listing, and you have to make sure that you actually claim ownership of it. So we see a lot, unfortunately, that we'll work with a client and they'll have this one Google Business Profile listing for their practice, but we'll see that for whatever reason, these other ones pop up. And what that does is it creates a bit of an issue. We're dealing with that with a client right now where, he reached out and said, I don't understand, why is my practice not showing up on the map? I have to zoom in to see it. And what we realized was that in addition to the one profile that we managed for that client, he had 3 other ones that had just popped up out of nowhere. So we had to go through the process of claiming all those other ones that were out there and then started one by one merging them with his so that Google wasn't confused and they only saw one Google Business Profile for that practice. It's a little bit, Google's is a little strange about this, because if you have associates in your practice, they'll often say, well, you need to have multiple listings, one for each doctor. But then they also penalize us for having multiple listings. So it's a little bit of a dance with Google that we have to do. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure you have one listing, make sure you claim it, and then you own it so you can change it. So search yourself right now, search your practice name, your doctor name, everything, and see if you're finding all these other weird listings pop up. Sometimes you'll even see that you'll have your listing that has 500 5-star reviews, and then all of a sudden there's this weird listing for you that has a 2.3 star rating. So clearly that's going to dissuade people from calling your practice if they find the wrong listing. So that's number 1. Number 2, you got to complete all the information that you can in your Google Business Profile. So we'll go through these in detail. So that includes your business name. Make sure your business name is accurate and reflective of your actual business. You don't need an LLC in there. You don't need anything like that. You just want the name of the practice the way you push it out to the public, the way it is listed on your sign, the way it is listed on your business cards. That's the name you want. Do not try to use keywords. We've seen a lot of people do that where they'll say, beautiful smiles, Roswell. But Google's only going to penalize you for that in the long run. So you don't want to stuff keywords into the title. Just use your business name as it is, as you use it everywhere else. Secondarily, categories. Google allows you to list multiple categories of what you do. So in a case for a general dentist, you'd want to have your number 1 category be dentist. If you do dental implants, you'd want to have dental implants provider as one. You'd want to have another category, say, of dental clinic. What you don't want to do is misportray yourself. So if you do Invisalign, but you're not an orthodontist, you don't want to list yourself as an orthodontist. But you definitely want to have the number of categories reflective of all the dentistry that you do in your practice. Next, you want to make sure your business description is fully filled out. They allow you 750 characters. You want to use as many of those as you can. Here, you do want to put keywords in there. You want to put relevant keywords to your services, your location, anything you can, but you also want to make sure it's well written. It can't just seem like a keyword stuffed bunch of paragraphs that doesn't make any sense to a reader. You want to make it make sense. Next, obviously, phone and website. Make sure those are accurate and listed. Recently, Google added that you can add your other social profiles. So you can add your Facebook link, your Instagram link. You want to add all that stuff. Service areas. So if you're a dentist in town A, but you know that you pull patients from town B, C, D, E, and F around you, make sure you list those on your Google Business Profile page as service areas that you service. Now, technically, This is more for like a roofing company who actually goes to someone's house in that town next door and services their property. But we can also use as a dentist because we say, hey, yeah, I'm in town A, but those people in town B are only 3 miles away from me. So it's very convenient for them to come here as well. So make sure you fill out all those service areas that you service. Photos, make sure you have a lot of good, unique, personalized photos of the office. Put them in there. It's sometimes better if you have a photographer come in and then they take 300 photos. It might be better to drip those a little bit at a time. So add a few a week so Google sees that activity of you adding them, as opposed to just dumping all 300 photos at one time. But when you add those photos, make sure you rename them. Instead of the whatever the photographer called them, disc 23555, rename it as dentist in Anytown, USA, with relevant keywords that Google will pick up on when you load those photos. And then lastly, just complete all service and language options, other languages you speak, other services you offer. You want to make sure you complete, there's a section called more from the business section. Make sure whatever is relevant is completed there. If you have a handicap accessible bathroom, all that information is very useful to Google and they like to see it filled out. So fill out everything. Number 3, and this one's a little technical, but it's what we call NAP consistency. So aim for complete NAP consistency. So NAP, NAP stands for name, address, and phone number. And you want to make sure that the other places online where you have these listed, your name, address, and phone number, match back to your Google business profile. So if you have a Yelp page, you have a Bing page, you have a Facebook page, make sure as much as you possibly can that the name of the practice, the address, and the phone number are all consistent with what's on your Google business profile. Google will look at that as citations. So they'll look around and say, okay, we see that this practice, this phone number is listed all these other places. That makes this place more reliable, more trustworthy. Let's boost our rankings a little bit. And address is a tricky one because, if you're in suite 510, sometimes it's written STE 510. Sometimes the suite is written completely out. Sometimes there's just a number there, number 5130. So try and make that as consistent as possible. That's usually where Google gets confused if they can't figure out if this practice they're seeing online is the same one that they're seeing on their own platform. So make sure your NAP consistency is there. Number 4, add products and services. So another thing you can fill out here that's extremely important is services and products. Now, for a dentist, your products are actually going to be just listing your services again, because you may sell a toothbrush, electric toothbrush, something like that, some trays, whatever it is, but really it's going to be your services, emergency dentistry, dental implants, Invisalign, all those things that you do. Each one of those, you want to have its own product listing where you'll have an image. Also, the image should be keyword optimized, a description of the product or service, and a link back to your website where you offer that product and service. So the page. So if it's Invisalign, make sure it goes to your Invisalign page. Fill out the products, also fill out all the services that you offer with titles, with descriptions. Put as much information as there as you can. Use keywords as much as you can. Really let Google know the breadth of the services that you offer. Because when we talked about prominence, or relevance, Google's going to see, okay, if someone in this town is looking for dental implants, but we see that this Google business profile has dental implants listed both in products and services, we're going to show that listing versus the dentist that does not. So make sure you fill out those. Spend good time doing this. It's very important. Okay, number 5. Make sure your hours reflect any time that someone is available to answer the phones. So if you only do clinical work Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5, but on Fridays, let's say you're not there, but you have someone there answering the phones, put your hours as open on Friday as long as somebody has answered the phone. If you have an answering service and you're answering phones 24/7, I would recommend listing 24/7. The reason for this is just recently at the end of 2023, we began to see that Google is now, if your hours show you as closed at 4 p.m., then after 4 p.m., they're going to stop showing you in these Google Map listings. They're going to say, oh, well, practice is not open, but these other ones are. So let's show the ones that are open versus the one that says they're closed. So make sure that your hours reflect anytime someone is available to answer the phone for your practice. Number 6, you need to aggressively solicit reviews and respond to them. So there's been a misconception in the last, as long as I've been doing this for a decade, more than a decade, that Google does not like you to ask people for reviews. That's not true. They even give you a link to send to people to ask them for a review. It's right there in your Google business profile, and they encourage it. So what they don't want you to do is pay people for reviews. They don't want you to incent people for reviews, but you can definitely ask for reviews. So make sure you're getting as many reviews as you possibly can. You could be using a third-party software, one of those ones that text your patients as soon as they leave the practice to ask them for a review. You could create a QR code with that link to your Google page to get a review. You could have your hygienist and assistant ask for reviews before you even see that patient. But do everything you can to get more reviews on your page. And then also very important, you need to respond. So make sure that when someone gives you a positive review, you have a very HIPAA compliant generic response. Thank you so much. We always love seeing you. You're the best. If you can, use keywords in there, but you want to make sure that you don't sound disingenuous with your thanks by using too many keywords. But use keywords in your responses. Again, it only helps, especially if somebody gives you a review and says, hey, I got Invisalign from this dentist, and it was the best Invisalign ever, and my teeth look great. I love it. Google will actually pick up on that. When someone types in Invisalign dentist near me, Google will go and pull that review and show it on your listing to show somebody like, look, this dentist even has a 5-star review about the service you're looking for. So make sure you get reviews, encourage people to be specific about what they did at your practice. And then in your responses, be HIPAA compliant. You don't want to be specific. Just say, thank you. We love seeing you. Very generic, very HIPAA compliant. If you get negative reviews, you also need to respond to those. That's something we do for our clients because it's very important. We want to make sure that when you do get a negative review, that we mitigate the damage of that review as much as possible. So always respond to reviews, positive or negative, and definitely be aggressive about asking for reviews as well. All right. Number 7, you want to encourage activity, communication, and the usage of your page. So what I mean by that, Google loves it when businesses use their properties. So they love people using Google Business Profile versus your website or Yelp or Bing or anywhere else that they could go and interact with you. So the more usage they see of your Google Business Profile, the more they're going to promote your page above other dentists. So there's a lot of things you can do that are nice little tactical ways to get more people to interact with your profile. So here's a couple of them. One, you have a link on your Google Business Profile that is a Google Maps link that is directions to your practice. So if you send that link to somebody, they click on it, it's going to open up and it's going to ask, where are you right now? If it doesn't already tell by a cookie, and it's going to say, we'll give you specific directions to this practice. Google loves that. So if I were you, anytime you send a welcome email or an email to a new patient or an existing patient or anybody, always make sure you include a link that is a directions to your practice and encourage those people to use that to interact with your Google Business Profile. Excuse me. Next, answer questions. So you have a Q&A, frequently asked questions section on your Google Business Profile. Now, ideally, you want customers to go in there and ask questions. And we do see that a lot. Like, hey, do you guys accept this insurance? Or do you guys offer this service? And a lot of times what we see is, and Google loves this, is when another patient of your practice answers the question. Like, hey, yeah, I go there and I use that insurance and they take it. Great. But that's not always going to happen organically. So I would encourage you to be careful about it, but to go on your page and ask questions, and then as your page, answer those questions. Again, it's just more activity that Google's going to see, and they're going to like that this back and forth is happening on their property between you and a potential patient or customer. And then next, they offer messaging and SMS alerts in there. A lot of our clients say, nope, I don't want to do that because I don't want another place where my staff has to go and interact with potential patients. Google loves it. So I would encourage you to turn that on and respond when you get those messages. It can be frustrating because we see those for our clients and we see people doing it on Saturday night at 9 p.m. And of course, I don't expect someone to be monitoring that at Saturday night at 9 p.m. But during business hours, at least, you should be responding to those messages and those SMS alerts and having conversations with people through Google's platform if you can. Again, they love that. They love seeing that activity. So it's only going to help your Google Map Pack rankings to do it. Awesome. And then number 8, the last one on the list here. And this is a big one. Update your Google business profile every week. I know that's a lot, but I know that you can do it. We try to do this for our clients where we're putting something up every week. If they provide us personalized things like photos and updates, we do that. If not, we do more generic things about dental related topics. Think of them as almost like mini blog posts that we're just popping up on that Google profile every week. But what you could do, which is ideal, is like I mentioned before, if you have a photographer come in and shoot 300 photos, drip those photos up on your profile over time every week. So every week, add a couple more. Boom, boom. Here's a picture of our team interacting with the patient. Here's a picture of the front desk. Here's a picture of the outside. Make sure that those are keyword named photos, meaning that, it's dentist, Anytown, USA, dental cleanings, Anytown, USA, whatever it is, but stuff those with keywords and the names of those photos. But drip those up there so that Google sees this activity happening every week. Next, you want to look at they actually offer updates, which are posts on your Google business profile. So there's 3 different types. There's just general updates. That's the most common type. It could be anything. Like I said, a mini blog post, an update about, someone in your team. Hey, we just hired a new hygienist. Here she is. This is Alice. She's the best. It could be anything that's happening in your practice. Again, you want to put keywords in there relative to your service, town, all that. But you want to be just doing it consistently is the biggest thing. The second type of update is an event. Let's say you're having a Botox party or something coming up. Make sure you put it up there on your Google business page. The same way you would add it to Facebook, your website, all those other places, add it there as well. And then lastly is offers. So this one you can run for an amount of time. So let's say that you have a new $99 special and you're going to run it for the next 3 months. So pop it up there on Google, set it as it's going to expire in 3 months. And Google will show that to people when they visit your webpage. When they visit your Google business profile. So it could be cash promotion, a discount, whatever you want it to be. But again, as long as we're just showing activity, that is the most important thing that Google likes to see. So those are them. Those are the 8 things that dentists can do today to start improving their Google Business Map Pack rankings. Like I said at the beginning, if you look in the show notes, we have a link to where you can actually go and download more specific information about this that we put together for you. Just go fill out a quick form and we'll shoot it right over to you. So please do that. And please check back with us frequently as we're going to be posting Dental Flow podcasts periodically. And our goal is to always give you information that you can use to improve your dental practice. Again, my name is Benjamin Suggs, Flow New Patient Marketing. You can visit us online at newpatientsflow.com. And thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your drive, or whatever it is you're doing right now. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this Dental Flow podcast episode. If you enjoyed today's discussion and wish to stay updated on future episodes, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with colleagues and friends. For more insights and discussions on dental marketing, we encourage you to continue riding the Dental Flow wave and tune into the next episode. Keep on smiling, learning, and flowing with the Dental Flow podcast.